Hi, it's Claudia, and in this video, we are reviewing the book, The 7 Money Types by Pastor Tommy Brown. So I picked up this book because I had read the book about the 5 apology languages called When Sorry Isn't Enough by Dr. Gary Chapman and Dr. Jennifer Thomas. So that helped me to understand that people apologize in different languages. So they have different ways of relating to an apology. And then, of course, I also read the book, The 5 Love Languages, which teaches us that people have a preference for a specific way to express love, for them to express it to other people, and for them another preference or the same for them to receive love from other people. So then in my inner healing journey, I wanted to learn more about money and if there are any differences in how we people relate to money. So this is why I picked up this book, because it says the 7 money types. So I wanted to know how I relate to money and how other people relate to money, because over the years, so my husband and I were married 9 years at the time, and over the years, we had many arguments about our choices to spend money. So I wanted to look into this subject and find out what God says about it. So this is what this book is about the reality that we are different when it comes to the way that we relate to money and when we prioritize what to spend. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong. And actually, the author proposes that because we are created in God's image, that it is God who wired us in a specific way to relate to money, to reflect one of his character traits and the way that God relates to money. So obviously there are 7 types. So we're talking about 7 different character traits of God and the way that he relates to money, and they are represented in the Bible through the different people that we are told and taught about in the Bible. So let's look at these 7 biblical figures and what they represent and how they reflect God's character traits when it comes to money. Abraham offers God's hospitality. Isaac demonstrates God's discipline. Jacob reflects God's beauty. Joseph depicts God's connection. Moses manifests God's endurance. Aaron embodies God's humility. David influences with God's leadership. So, if we understand that there are different ways to relate to money, and it's not just one-dimensional way of looking at money, then if we learn this, then we can just get rid of all the frustration and all the guilt of not fitting into this one-dimensional man-made mold that we think we are supposed to relate to money. And we must remember that this is how God wired us, and it is our duty, you could say. This is our part to learn how that is, and then to learn how to improve it, and also the pitfalls of every specific part of God's character that we are representing, because we are living in a fallen